Thank you, Chris. Back to our Commitment 2022 coverage now. 36 governor seats are up for election, one of those being here in South Carolina.
Republican incumbent Governor Henry McMaster and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette are seeking a second term. Our Jane Robelo is following this race and joins us live in Columbia. Jane.
Well, Nigel and Carol, we are at the USC Alumni Center, this very special place for Governor Henry McMaster. He earned his undergraduate degree at USC and also his law degree. In about 90 minutes from now, the ballroom right behind me is going to be filled with supporters. I just spoke with South Carolina GOP Chairman Drew McKissick and asked him, what he thinks about this race for tonight. And he said he is extremely confident about a big win for Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette and Governor Henry McMaster. Now, they have taken nothing for granted, even with early voting. Yesterday, they concluded a bus tour, 7 straight days covering 15 cities across South Carolina. They came to Stacks Omega, or Stacks Original, to talk to supporters there. And Governor McMaster really driving home their message, which is economic stability, jobs creation, and also through the pandemic, how he did not shut things down. He says he respected the Constitution. The governor really giving a litany of statistics on his successes.
Few statistics real quick. South Carolina, $5 billion capital investment this year so far. That's the most we've ever had. We're not through yet. $2 billion surplus, $1 billion tax rebate going out. $2 billion in the roads and bridges with all that money we've made, $1 billion in water and sewer, $400 million in broadband. We were giving more scholarships to young people to go to technical college and college. We're raising the pay on law officers. We're raising the pay on teachers. And if you're a veteran, no income tax on your retirement pay.
And that last one drawing a big applause because the governor has said all along that he really wants to make South Carolina a very veterans-friendly state. The state has a number of military bases, and it's very important here. So inviting military retirees to come to the state and not have to pay state income taxes was a big, big part of what he's been touting statewide. We'll bring you more as the night goes on. I'm in Columbia. Jane Robelo, WYFF News 4.
Jane, thank you. McMaster's Democratic opponent, Joe Cunningham, and his running mate, Tally Parham Casey. Our Taggart Houck is in Charleston at the site of their campaign watch party. Tag.
Yeah, good evening. We're expecting things to pick up here as the night goes on. We're here at the American Theater off King Street in Charleston. Joe Cunningham today tells us that he feels very good about the outcome of this race, saying that he believes it's going to be one that will actually come down to the wire. He said likely this will be a very, very late night. We have video here of Cunningham voting last week as part of early voting. He's been very vocal about what he stands for during this campaign. Part of that is legalizing marijuana. He also says that he wants to legalize sports betting and then tax them to create new revenue streams for teacher pay and better roads. He also says that he wants to eliminate the state income tax, and he said that his campaign is about moving South Carolina forward. Today, really just hours ago, he shared with us a recent experience with his son. Take a listen.
We were taking the road trip from Charleston up to Greenville last week, and yeah, it's about 3.5 hours, but with a toddler, it feels like more like 12. And he reminded me of that too, and he's like, this road's taking forever. And he tells me, he's like, and these roads are so junky. And it occurred to me that I've been traveling across the state for the last 1.5 years trying to explain to people about how bad the infrastructure was and put it in my terms. But then a 4.5-year-old knocks it out of the park by just calling them what they are. They're junky.
And if Cunningham does win, he'd be the first Democrat elected governor in more than 20 years. He has some political experience here. He served 1 term in Congress in the Low Country. For now in Charleston, Taggart Houck, WYFF News 4.
Thank you, Tag. To Western North Carolina, where the 11th congressional district seat is up for grabs after Representative Madison Cawthorn lost in the Republican primary. Republican Chuck Edwards and Democrat Jasmine Beach Ferreira are vying for the open seat. Peyton Furtado is in Henderson County with more on this closely watched race.
Well, the crowds have been pretty steady here in Henderson County, definitely picking up in just the past hour with more folks getting off work, heading to their local polling places. And this region has definitely been in the spotlight a lot more in recent years. U.S. Congressional District 11 represents Western North Carolina, so though it does include Asheville, voters in this region have elected Republicans to this position since the early 2000s. Among some of those representatives are Tim Meadows, who worked as Donald Trump's White House chief of staff, and most recently, Madison Cawthorn, who lost his seat in the primaries. Tonight, Republican Chuck Edwards and Democrat Jasmine Beach Ferrara will face off for this seat. Edwards is a business owner and a North Carolina state senator, playing a role in 18 committees. Beach Ferrara is a Buncombe County commissioner, ordained minister, and LGBTQ activist. Now, North Carolinian polls close a little bit later than South Carolina's. They close at 7:30 tonight. We're going to have more information for you as the night continues. But for now, in Henderson County, I'm Peyton Furtado, WYFF News 4.
Thank you, Peyton. Staying in North Carolina, the executive director of the State Board of Elections addressed questions about alleged incidents of voter intimidation, removal of political signs by competing campaigns.
There is some elevated tempers and temperature among our campaigners and our canvassers, and you know, we ask that everybody just use some civility.
North Carolina election officials also addressed questions about problems with a few polling places opening late today. None of those issues was reported in Western North Carolina.
Now to the races for Greenville County Council in District 17 and 23. Our Rashad Williams is live at County Square in Greenville County with a look at those races tonight. Rashad.
Well, Nigel, you may remember at 4 o'clock I mentioned how long the line is here at County Square. I decided to come outside and wanted to give you a first-hand look. It is wrapped around the building. It has been like this for a few hours. Again, people patiently waiting to get inside to ensure that their voices are heard. But we spoke to each candidate ahead of today's election. Two candidates are running for Greenville County Council's District 17 seat, which covers the northern portion of Greenville County. The race features Republican Joey Russo and Democrat Cheryl Guarniero. Russo defeated longtime incumbent Councilman Joe Dill in the Republican primary, and here's what both candidates had to say.
The county has done a great job developing the UDO, the Unified Development Ordinances. That's going to bring things together, bring things up to date a lot more, because a lot of the ordinances and things that we're working off of were very outdated.
It's about making sure that there's a plan in place for how a community is going to look. Where are you going to put your schools? Where are you going to put your fire department? Where are the businesses going to go? Where are the homes going to go? And how does that all look?
Now to Greenville County Council in District 23, your two candidates are Democrat Alan Mitchell and Republican Ben Carper. Xanthi Norris is the current representative in that district. However, she is not seeking another term, and we asked each candidate their single biggest focus.
If we can get the people safe and able to maintain their health and just be able to have an affordable life, then everything else can fall in place.
If we put a bubble over Greenville and we stop growing, we die. I don't want Greenville to die. But I don't want Greenville to be St. Louis or Atlanta or Charlotte.
And again, less than 2 hours to go here in South Carolina, but we will continue to follow these races closely. Live in Greenville County, Rashad Williams, WYFF News 4.